Today I want to give you a rundown of my bookshelf and how I have it organized. It is really not organized in any specific type of way. I did used to work at a bookstore, so I originally had my bookshelf subsectioned and kind of emulating the store a little bit because I liked that idea. But then I noticed that I was just throwing books on my shelf, and since you don't know me, you won't know that I am completely an unorganized person. I have to put a lot of effort into being organized, and I am usually only organized for the week to 2 weeks to maybe a month after I deep clean and reorganize something, and then it slowly just gets messier and messier until I can't take it anymore and I spend a whole entire day cleaning and reorganizing all over again. I'm not good at staying organized, and I have a really bad habit of not putting things back where they belong because that's never stuck in my brain. That's just not how my brain works. I just don't. I'll take something off a shelf and throw it somewhere else and never put it back where I got it from. So with that comes very messy and unorganized bookshelves. Another thing about me is that I have a hard time with minimalism. I am a maximalist through and through. And so being unorganized and maximalist, that doesn't really mesh very well together. And I have a really hard time with paring down, cutting back, and getting rid of things. So what I've done with my current shelf setup is I've kept it all at one singular shelf. And I have IKEA bookshelves. They're the largest bookshelves I've ever had. I have two of them. One that I keep books on, one that I put like miscellaneous things on, because I did have them both full of books. But I got rid of an entire bookshelf. It was more like half of the bookshelf was full of books. I got rid of it, and so now I can actually put like my crafting supplies on that shelf and put more like other things there. I have DVDs and CDs and stuff on there. I kind of have one as like, they're both like physical media shelves basically, but I have a bookshelf and then I have like everything else shelf, so it's craft supplies, CDs, DVDs, all that. And if you want to see that, I can do that. It's not very organized right now. My books are the most organized thing I have right now, but if you want to see that, I can also show you that at another time. Bookshelves, I just reorganized and I got rid of some books that I had on my shelf and never picked up, and I was like, this has been sitting for a year, like I'm never gonna read this. So I just got rid of it. I'm gonna donate it. I have a whole donation pile. I did alphabetize. So I think that'll help me a lot with staying organized, because my biggest problem is like, oh, I don't know where I want to put this. I don't know where this book falls in my like subsectioned category. So I would just throw it on top of the books, and that just like was so messy and so stupid and like did nothing. So I have it organized, alphabetized by author last name. If you know anything about the IKEA bookshelves, they're kind of deep. They're not super deep, so like I can't like, I've seen people put their record players on their bookshelves and have like their records like around it, and I was like, how freaking cute. I tried to do that with this one and it wasn't deep enough. It like hung off the shelf, so I was like, well, that's not happening. I really like the idea of having like the CD player and then like the speakers and then all the CDs around it, but it just like what I have like won't fit there. And I've seen people put like their TVs and stuff on their bookshelves. That doesn't work for me. My bookshelves are too shallow, but they're deep enough to where if I put my book on the shelf and push it to the back, I have like inches of shelf space just free. And what I was noticing with black bookshelves, I end up with just a layer of dust on the shelf, on that space that you can see. And that was really, really bothering me because, well, one, getting black furniture probably wasn't the smartest idea, but I just think it looks nice. And I like when everything matches, so it is what it is. But then I hated having to dust like literally every day. Like you have to dust every day. And I don't even have pets. So like having to dust every day, like that's kind of excessive for me, and like that's just not realistically something I can keep up with. What I do instead is pull all of my books to the very edge of the bookshelf. So all of my books are on the very edge, and then the space that's left on the shelf is actually in the back. So that does still get very dusty, but you can't see it. And so that's all that matters to me. And sometimes you can see like the tops of the books will be a little dusty, and I can just get that off really easy. But the back of the shelf is dusty, but you can't see that. So I'm not having to dust my bookshelves like once a week. And that's really, really nice. I have to dust all this stuff, all the rest of it, but not the bookshelves. That's what I've done for mine. Trying to keep everything on one shelf. And if I don't have room, then I make room because I do have that space in the back, so I can double layer my books. So it's like I have plenty of room to add in more books to my collection for sure. But if I don't have room on my shelf, I don't get the book. And that has helped me so much with my impulse buying and all of that type of stuff, because I'll see a book and be like, oh my god, yes, I've been wanting this, and I'll just get it. But now that I've limited myself to the one bookshelf, I have honestly been leaning so much more on my library, and that's really nice because my library books, they go right here. I do not put them in with the rest of my books because I fear I will lose them. Some of these are dangerously overdue, but it is what it is. Any of the books that like don't fit there or anything have to go here, and if it's right here, I'm looking at that all the time, and it's also kind of in the way because this is also where I like put my bag and stuff when I come in. So if I put this here and there's like no space and my books are in the way, then I'm like, this is too much and it's too cluttery, and I just like I kind of freak out and have to get rid of whatever is there. And so that keeps me in check. And then also my library books are in front of me, and I'm such a out of sight, out of mind person. So if I put my library book within my bookshelf, I will forget that it was a library book and I will not return it. So my library does love how many fines I've paid. Yeah, so I have to put all my library stuff out. Like this is right next to the door. The door is like right here. All my library stuff sits right there. And that's just like a system that has really, really worked for me. And then I do like having my little library collection. I think it's really cute to have it just like out. Honestly, Severance was a really good book. It's this pink one right here in the middle. I showed it in my other video. I do need to do my books that I'm reading this month. I'm gonna show you one actually that I'm reading, but not all of them, just because I just never sat down and did that. Severance was so good. I did not expect it to be a satirical, almost like comical story, with it being like an apocalyptic story, but it was really good. I liked it a lot. I've already had my first absolute bullshit, stupid ass book of the year. I read Black Sheep, and I'll put a picture of it. I have it sitting in my donation bin and I don't feel like digging it out because fuck that book. So I hated it. I hated it so much, you guys. Like literally, please don't ever, like, I'm not one to say like don't read this book, but like do not read that book. It is so god awful. It is so bad. It is. I posted a TikTok of it while I was reading because I was like about to pull my hair out. That's how bad it was. Like I got like 100 pages in and I was like, what the hell am I reading? And it was so bad that I like had to finish it. Do you know like when a book is so bad that you're like, I have to finish this? I finished the book and then I immediately tossed it across the room onto the floor, and it sat like half under my bed for a solid 4 days before I threw it in a donation bin, because I was like, just get this out of my face. And I'm pissed too because that was one of the books that I actually bought full price, and most of my books I buy secondhand. I rarely buy a book full price, and I actually bought that one full price because I saw someone else say they really liked it, and I usually get really good recommendations from this person, and I will not throw this person under the bus. So like it could be anyone who's recommended it, but like guys, I was pissed. Anyway, enough about books I hated. The book I'm reading right now, Big Swiss. I'm starting it today, have not opened it yet. I've seen this floating around on TikTok and stuff, and I just really, honestly, I bought this for the cover or because of the cover. That's just such a cool cover to me. I don't know. It is very trendy. It is very book talky. It's very Instagrammable. I don't know. I feel like that's the reason they make covers like this, because it gets you to buy it. And I did. And I like it. So we'll see how it goes. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's about like codependent relationships and trauma and all that kind of stuff. So like, I'm not really quite sure what it's about, to be honest. I just know that there's some sort of like codependent relationship, and that gave kind of weird girl lit fic vibes. So I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I did not pay full price for this either. Employee discount, baby. And that's how long I've had it. Last time I had an employee discount for books was a year and a half, 2 years ago. So that's how long I've had this. Yeah. So if you ever feel guilty about having books rotting on your shelves, you are safe here. This is a safe space for you, because when I tell you I've had books for probably, I'm looking right now, I'm looking at Dune. I've had that for maybe 3 years. Have I read it? No. But I think I will, because I just saw the trailer for Dune 3, or the teaser. I don't know if it's an official trailer, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, even though Timothée Chalamet is on my, he got dropped down on the boy pyramid. He got dropped down. He's at the bottom of the pyramid / ripped off and thrown to the floor because of his comments about fine art and the opera and ballet. But he may redeem himself with Dune, who knows. But yeah, Timothy's at the bottom. But yeah, that was kind of just like a little catch up. I do have some other video ideas planned. I'm just really bad at sitting down and actually executing well, and I need to get better at that, and I need to stop saying that I'm bad at things, because I'm just not good yet instead of not good at all. But yeah, on that note, I will see you in the next one.